Gracias. Pueden sentarse. Es un honor presentar
It
a
is
los
an honor
integrantes de la
to
mesa
introduce the members of the member,
Eugenia
María Zamora, President of the Supreme Electoral Court, Max Alberto Esquivel, Vice President of the Supreme Electoral Court,
Luz de Los
Ángeles Retana,
Hugo
Hugo Picado León, and Seti Bo Valverde, magistrates from this court. At this moment, the President of the Supreme Electoral Court starts this ceremony. This section is open, and now she addresses to all of us Eugenia María Zamora, President of the Supreme Electoral Court. Costa Rican people, good evening. Good evening also to all foreign friends, to the media and the international observers who are here tonight with us, which is a very special moment for our country, especially because once again we have done the process of elections in Costa Rica in all the territory of the country, from coast to coast, also in the Coconut Island and beyond our borders, because the Costa Rican people who are abroad are also part of our nation. Today we came to the polling stations to cast our vote. Today was not a simple day, and we knew it was not going to be simple, because it has never been easy for any democracy in the world during these 2 years of pandemic. That's why I want to thank, in the first place, to all the women and men who, even that, they went and they cast their vote as their civic right, and also to all the members of the electoral boards, and to the dozens of people from the Costa Rican people who also were today as electoral agents, and they did the work to meet this process of elections in Costa Rica, and also to give the rights and the possibility to all the population to go and vote, and also to do all the more than 1,000 polling stations were open, and no one was denied the right to vote. The Costa Rican people ratified today once more their desire to live in freedom. This Supreme Court acknowledges the willing of the Costa Rican people to just comply what it reads in the Constitution of our nation, and to do it through the voting process, to listen respectfully to the people of Costa Rica. Not only to those who went to vote today to prove our democracy, but also to those who spoke with their silence. Tonight, that is our right. We, not only the rights and the responsibility of the court, but also the responsibility of the media and of the population, to listen respectful to what people want to say during the right to express their vote. This day, the polling stations are reporting their results. In a few minutes, we will share them with us using the transmission data system that we have.
El mediodía de mañana.
We will do this
El martes
in
arrancará el escrutinio
tomorrow, and on Tuesday we will also carry out the final counting of votes based on the result to determine the 57 seats, people who will be occupying the 57 seats in the Legislative Assembly, and the president who is going to be the president, who will be the president May 8th, or the two people that, according to the law, we will have to choose next April the 3rd. Now, the ones who were favored with the popular vote, and today, the ones who were not supported by the majority, we ask them to respect wisely this decision. So from tomorrow, with the effort of everybody, we will continue moving ahead, building this free Costa Rica with solidarity principles, as we always do. Our common house is the world that we call homeland. So on behalf of my comrades, good night. At this moment, the Supreme Electoral Court President will read the first report, national report of the results of the national elections 2022 to elect presidency and vice presidency of the Republic of Costa Rica. She received this document from the Secretary General of this court. Preliminary report of results for President and Vice President from February the 6th, 20 hours and 40 minutes. Polling stations, over 900 were. We have 55% of turnout, people who didn't vote, 44%. Valid votes by political party, National Liberation, more than 40,000 people, for 30%. New Republic, more than 27,000 people, for 70%. Democratic Process, more than 23,000, for 15%. Social Christian Unity, 22,000 votes, for 14%. Broad Front, more than 10,000 people, for 6%. National Liberation Progressive Party, 9,000, for 6%. Just Costa Rica, over 1,000, for 0.91%. National Force, over 1,000 votes, for 0.87%. United We Can Do It, more than 1,000 votes, for 0.71%. Citizen Action, more than 1,000 votes, for 0.70%. Christian Republican Social Democratic, for 0.6%. 60%. For 0.62%.
Nueva generación,
New generation
856
over
votos
800
para un 0,56%.
for 0.56%.
Accesibilidad sin exclusión, 797 votos
Over 700 votes
para un 0,52%.
for 0.52%.
Social
Social
costarricense,
justice
754 votos
around
válidos para
700 for
0,49%.
0.49%.
Unión Costarricense
Costa Rican Union
622 votos
over 600
para el
votes for
0,41%.
0.41%.
Encuentro Nacional 560
National
votos
Party
válidos
for
para el 0,37%.
0.37%.
Unión Liberal 490
National Liberation
votos válidos
for
para el 0,32%.
32%.
Alianza Demócrata Cristiana
Democratic Alliance
481 votos válidos
for
para el 0,31%.
31%.
Integración Nacional
National Integrity
368
over 300
para
for
el 0,24%.
24%.
Nuestro pueblo,
Our people
234
more than 200
válidos
votes
para el
for 0.15%.
Movimiento Socialdemócrata
Social movement
194
over
votos
100 votes
para el 0,13%.
0.13%.
Pueblo Unido 190 votos
Over
para el
100
0,12%.
votes for 0.12%.
141 votos válidos
Over 100
para el
votes for
0,09%.
0.9%.
Los Trabajadores
Workers' Party
139 votos
over
válidos
100 votes
para
for
el
0.09%.
0,09%. Total de votos válidos 152.884.
The total of
Nulos
votes that were
1.917.
fine over 150,000 votes. Blank votes
1.439.
around
Votos
1,039
recibidos,
votes.
156.240.
156,000 votes were received according to the information. In this moment, you will see on the board the different numbers and figures of the votes. And also, you will see on the left board, you can see the result of the presidential result. And on the board to the right, you can see the result of the legislative selections. You can also download the information free from cost, the information, and also you can read it in the social media of the Supreme Electoral Court. Before we end this, we want to tell you that the Supreme Electoral Court will keep on working till it is necessary. So I ask you to please stand up to say goodbye to the magistrates and the members of the Supreme Electoral Court. We want to thank you your presence here and the fact that you are following us in social media. So in this moment, the ceremony of the Supreme Court just finished when they reported the first results. Almost 10% of the polling stations were counted so far. The most impressive result is the people undecided to go to vote that were reported by the Supreme Court. 44% of people who did not vote. We thought it was going to be lower. We know that still polling stations are still counting, but this is the first result, the preliminary result. As you can see on the board, you can see the information on the board and also on the social media of the Supreme Electoral Court that is going to be updated every 15 minutes. You can see the Figueras candidate. It is one on the top, and with this, it is about like 30%. It is followed by New Republic. And this is one of the surprises, because before Rodrigo Chávez was in the 4th place, but now in this first result, you see Chávez with 15% only, followed by whose party? That in the previous polls was in the 2nd place. The Linet's party, we can see that they have welcomed this result. You see they are not very happy with the results. And also Alvarado also is, you can see the percent of people who didn't vote. And this information is being generated automatically by the Supreme Court's system on the web. So every time that you see an update, is because they are presenting new figures from the counting of the stations. So you can officially check those results on the web. So right now, the National Party with José María Figueras is the one on the top so far. And New Republic with Fabricio Alvarado are the ones, and José María Figueras will be the 2 candidates that supposedly will go to the runoff. The final result we will see later, but for sure this is a surprise, because we are seeing that a change in the results according to the previous polls, according to the intention of voting. In 15 minutes, there are 923 polling stations that have been counting of the thousands that are working. So this is just the beginning. You can see on the screen, José María Figueras has the 30.9% and Fabricio Alvarado with 17%. According to previous surveys, Linet Zamora will be the 3rd one in the list. But probably it will be changing in the future with why they receive the different results from the election boards that are still counting the votes nationwide. I think it's very interesting how the intention of voting has changed in these previous results. Now we see candidates that were lower in the polls in the first in the list. So probably we saw some support in the polls at the streets. We didn't know about this change. We did know that José María Figueras, Fabricio Alvarado, y Linet Zamora were on the top. But we have 2 surprises now. Still, we need to see if they are going to support these 2 on the front, and we will continue with the previous result of service. This has been a behavior, an atypical behavior of the voting during the process, with the party that only current party only received about 1,000 votes after 2 turns on the chair of Costa Rica. They didn't get too many votes this time. This is just the first result, the first report, but it also shows a change in this. You can see these are very atypical elections. Yes, you have been describing and you are listening to this in this preliminary report with 923 electoral board have been counted, where the party of Jose María Figueras and the party of Fabricio Alvarado are on the top so far. This is a very low rate so far to say what will be the final result. These represent only 13% of the total of votes. So they say that every 15 minutes they are going to be updating the list on the web, on their system, on the webs, according to the information they receive from the electoral boards nationwide. Officially, 923 electoral boards. And you can see also the 44.96% of people who did not go to vote. At some moment, they thought that the second place in the list of candidates, it was said that didn't have a specific name, so this was open to any change. Exactly like that. So everybody who is listening to us right now, this was a very short ceremony, only 15 minutes ceremony. They sang the national anthem, and then they reported the first results. They still need to be counting all the votes. In these two top places, you can see the difference of the percentage of rates of voting in these two preliminary results from Jose María Figueras' party and Fabricio Alvarado party. So far, as we said before, only 923 electoral board have presenting their results. So this is not, of course, the final result. So some of the analysts were saying before that this second place of the candidates could be changed, and we see it here because other people were supporting more the Social Christian Party, but now you see that the New Republic Party is on the list on the second place. This was created in 1919. It's a very conservative right-wing party. 4 years ago, was surprised to see how this party from Fabricio Alvarado obtained so many votes during the previous elections 4 years ago. So we can see also information coming from the polling stations, in people in their homes. Some people are celebrating, some people are sad. But we repeat, this is just a preliminary result. This is not the final result. Only 13% of the electoral boards have been counted. What is for sure is that the first 6 places of candidates for the presidency do remain in the same order. And they also follow the previous results of the surveys that were done to the population before today. Yes, it's very important to say the fact of the votes that were really counting, because we do see a lot of people who did not go to vote, representing
votos válidos, 1,917 votos nulos y en blanco 30 minutos de la noche.
So those are the results so far in this electoral process. Stay tuned with teleSUR English to keep up with the turnout in Costa Rica and the latest in the geopolitical South and the world. We now resume our usual schedule.